My name is Yoriko, and I'm 40 years old. I live with my husband Masashi and our son Akito. During the week, I work at a grocery store that's attached to one of the big train stations around here. Today is my day off. I was spending the day relaxing, but that's when my mother-in-law Fumie showed up out of nowhere. Hello, can I help you? Well, I just thought I'd pop in and say hi since I was in the area. But man, your clothes are so lame. I'm not planning on going outside today, so who cares? But anyway, what do you want? Well, I wanted to check and see if you were actually doing your job as my son's wife. Well, okay then. And that's when Fumie started looking around the living room to see if everything was tidy. But then... Oh no! There's a bunch of dust on the sofa right here! She dragged her finger across the sofa, held it up, and showed the pile of dust that it collected. God, she's so annoying. This is none of her business. Well, there's obviously going to be some dust on the back of the sofa. And besides, it's not somewhere people usually look at. That's not the issue here. This means that you haven't been doing a good enough job cleaning. But I do clean properly. And it's not like there was a lot of dust there. She was just nitpicking because she wanted to annoy me. Huh? Why are there pre-made meals in the fridge? Oh, I bought them last night at the store I work at. It's for today's dinner. What? You're kidding me, right? You're not going to cook for your family on your day off? Well, it's my day off, so I just wanted to relax today. And besides, the meal expires tomorrow, so... I will not let you feed this to my son! And so Fumie grabbed the meal and threw it in the garbage. Hey! What the hell was that for? You think this is acceptable? Well, tough to break it to you, but it isn't. You hire maids! You're not doing the chores at your place either! My in-laws are super rich, so she leaves all the chores up to her maids. She never supports her husband in any way and spends most nights going out with her friends. My father-in-law is an entrepreneur, and he still runs a bunch of businesses. He's never around when I visit their home, which is a shame, because unlike Fumie, he's very kind and welcoming. I wouldn't expect any more from someone from your family. That's not fair. Fumie started treating me this way around 10 years ago. I don't mean to brag, but back then my family was still rich. We had maids of our own, and we even had our personal butler. Back then, Fumie was nice to me. She said she was proud to welcome me to her family, but that was around when my father's business went under. We lost our maids, our butlers, and even the massive mansion that we'd been living in. That's also around when I got my part-time job to support my family. And thanks to that, my parents were able to get their finances back on track. And now they're living happily together in a decent apartment complex. Although Fumie had nothing to do with this, when she heard this news, she was distraught. She started saying that it was embarrassing for someone like me to be in her family when my entire family was full of failures. But I shouldn't stay here for too long. I don't want to end up like you guys. Then why the hell did you come in the first place? My afternoon was completely ruined thanks to my mother-in-law. I guess I gotta make dinner now. And so when my son got back home from school, I fed him dinner and sent him out to cram school. He's busy right now because he has high school entrance exams coming up. A few hours later, my husband came back. He works at one of his father's companies. He's a vice president there, but his father basically does everything for him. I never ask him about his job though because he gets strangely aggressive when I do. But he does bring in good money for us, so I can't complain.
Huh? Why do you look so tired? I thought you had a day off today.
Well, I did, but your mom came to visit, and she bugged me about the chores and whatnot.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't she? You never do the chores around here.
That's not true, and sometimes I want a break, okay?
You work 4 days a week. That's not even a real job. Don't be ridiculous.
Just like his mother. Masashi started acting like this when my father's company went under. I guess he's being told to act like this by his mother. And he never offered us any help when we were struggling financially. Akito was still 5 at the time, so it was difficult for me to deal with everything at once, but he didn't care. If Akito wasn't born, I would have broken up with him already. But I didn't want to make Akito a child of divorce. And besides, it was better for me financially to stay married with Masashi. Both Masashi and Fumie are awful people. But I guess I'll have to wait until Akito gets a job before I seriously consider getting a divorce with him. The next day, Fumie came to visit me at my workplace. God, 2 days in a row? This sucks! Welcome. You should smile more. I'm sorry about that.
You better watch your attitude. I'm a frequent customer here.
Sure. Our grocery store had a VIP system, and frequent customers got special perks like discounts and better service.
I bought all this today.
I think it was around 10,000 in total.
That's nothing, right? God, what a show-off. But I don't really care about the stuff you sell. Besides, I have a maid and a personal chef, so I don't even have to do my own shopping.
Then why the hell are you here?
Huh? What happened to your smile, huh? Do you want me to report to your higher-ups? Maybe I should file a complaint. Thank you so much for coming.
I tried my best to fake a smile. I didn't want my mother-in-law to annoy me at work, but other than that, my job was great. I really enjoyed it, and it kept my mind off of my family. Just being away from them was a good enough excuse to keep this job. But that's around when Fumie stopped showing up at my place. She stopped coming to our store as well. So I was starting to get a bit worried. Hey, your mom hasn't visited us in a while now. Did something happen?
I thought you hated her. Now you miss her?
No, I don't, but...
Then why do you care? But anyway, I quit my job today, so I'm going to be jobless from tomorrow.
Wait, what? Why? This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Well, yeah. That's because this is the first time I told you about this.
But why? I thought you were the vice president.
So what? I don't really care about that company anymore.
Well, did something happen?
My dad said that the company isn't doing too well, and I don't want a pay cut, so I decided to quit.
What? Why wouldn't you support your father if his business is struggling then?
Why should I do that? I'm my own person. I can quit whenever I want.
Well, maybe, but
And besides, I'm going to get a hefty severance package. I'm sure I'll be able to find another job quickly, too.
And then the next day, Masashi left the house without saying anything. A few hours later, he called me. When I answered, I could hear slot machines being played in the background.
Hey, you need to head to the hospital right now. My father's there.
What?
He's at MoniRobo Hospital, okay?
Wait, what? But what about your mom? And where are you right now?
I can't get a hold of her for some reason. And right now, I'm doing really well. I can't leave now.
What?
I'll head over there as soon as I start losing, all right?
This is unbelievable!
And so I called a taxi immediately and headed to the hospital. And when I got there, I found my father-in-law sleeping in one of the beds. Sir!
Oh, Yuriko, it's you. Thank you for coming.
Don't mention it, but what happened?
Well, I have a tumor.
What? And that's when the doctor walked in and explained everything to me. Apparently, my father-in-law found out about the tumor last year, but didn't tell anyone because he didn't want them to worry. But the cancer never got better, and he only has about 6 months left now. I was sad, furious, and devastated. I haven't been able to pay him back for everything he's done for my family, and yet, when my family was struggling financially, he was the only one that offered to help us. He told us that we didn't have to tell Masashi or Fumie about it, and sent us a couple of grand. After a few minutes, my father-in-law fell asleep. Why didn't you tell me sooner? And so I sat next to my father-in-law for a couple of hours and waited for his family to arrive. But neither of them showed up. And when I got home, I saw Masashi sitting at the dining table watching TV while eating a snack.
Why the hell didn't you come to see your father?
Well, I was in the middle of something. I only ended up winning about $10, though. God, I hate that place. I'm never going back there again.
No one cares about that right now. Your father has cancer and he only has about 6 months left to live.
Well, first this business starts to struggle, and now he has cancer? Ah, what a terrible week for the guy.
Look, you need to go and visit him.
Why? It's not like I can do anything about it. I'll just sit here and wait for the inheritance to be deposited. Hopefully it comes sooner than later.
You bastard!
My head was about to explode from rage, but I tried my best to calm myself down. And the next day, I visited the hospital again after work. Hello, sir. I'm back.
Yuriko! Thank you again for coming.
No, it's no big deal. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing better today.
That's great. And has your wife visited you yet?
No.
I see. I was able to call her and ask her why she's ignoring her husband. But that's when my father-in-law said something shocking.
To tell you the truth, Fumi and I are no longer together.
What?
A few months after I found out about my condition, I said this to Fumi. Hey, Fumi, my businesses aren't doing too well right now.
What? You're joking, right? But I'm sure you're going to be able to get it back on track in no time.
No, I don't think that's possible this time around. And so I was thinking about not hiring maids anymore. I want to cut costs as much as possible. And I was wondering if you could take care of the chores for me?
But
I know this is all shocking news. I'm sorry to put you in this position, but things really aren't going well, and I might end up with some debt.
What?
I'm really sorry, Fumi.
You know what? Forget it. I want a divorce.
And a week after that, Fumi disappeared with her things.
No way. My father-in-law's been supporting Fumie for decades now, but as soon as things start to go downhill, she just leaves him? That's not fair at all!
And I haven't been able to get in contact with her at all. I also said the same thing to Masashi the other day, and so that's why our business is not doing so well right now.
You're kidding me, right?
I know things might be difficult for a while, but I want you to help me rebuild our business.
Are you still gonna pay me the same though?
Well, at this point, I don't think I can.
Okay, well then, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna quit.
Are you sure? You are our VP, and there's no telling if you're ever going to be able to climb this high again.
Well, I don't really care about that. I don't want to do more work with less pay. And I'm sure my resume is good enough for me to get a decent job.
I see. Well, do whatever you want to do. But you have a family you need to support. Don't you ever forget that, alright?
Yeah. I don't want my personal maid to leave, so I'll do my best.
Wait, did he really call me a maid?
I'm sorry about my son. I shouldn't have let Fumi raise him. I should have been more involved.
No, it's all right. He's an adult now and he should know better.
But to tell you the truth, I was lying to them when I told them that our business wasn't doing well.
What?
Could you please listen to my final wish?
Your final wish? What is it, sir? That's when my father-in-law told me something even more shocking. He left me with an important task that I couldn't share with his family. But by the time I accomplish this task, my father-in-law will have passed away. I obviously want to make sure that I respect his wishes, but this is all so difficult for me to process. And so I reached out to everyone that I needed to contact and made the necessary arrangements. A few months later, I visited my father-in-law again and told him that all the preparations had been made. Sir, everything is ready now.
Thank you. I can die in peace now.
Please don't say that.
But anyway, Masashi and Fumi never visited me, did they?
Well, I'm sure they'll come and see you tomorrow. They have to.
Well, I hope so. But I don't regret marrying Fumi, though. Masashi was born because I married her. And through Masashi, I was able to meet you and Akito. I gotta thank those two for that. Yuriko, you should free yourself from Masashi. You're too good for him.
But Akito is still...
It's alright. I'm sure he understands your position very well. He actually visited me the other day.
Wait, really?
He asked me if there was anything he could do to help you get out of the situation you're in. He knows how difficult things have been for you. I'm sure he would want you to do what's best for yourself.
Thank you. I'd been against the idea of getting a divorce with Masashi because I felt like it would be better for Akito to have a father figure in his life. But Masashi still hasn't found a job yet, and I now know that Akito doesn't like his father at all. I've made my decision now. Thank you so much for everything, sir. I'll miss you.
I miss you too. I'm not your real father or anything, but you still looked after me. I can't thank you enough for that.
Well, we're family.
Family, huh? You and Akito were the only real family members that I ever had.
Sir.
But anyway, I'm going to sleep now. I don't know why, but I'm a bit tired today.
All right, sir. I'll see you tomorrow then. I'll bring Akito with me too. I'll be looking forward to it. And so my father-in-law slowly closed his eyes and went to sleep. I was about to cry, but I was able to stop myself. He's still alive, damn it! I can't give up hope yet. But the next day, he passed away. Akito and I sobbed our eyes out next to his bed, but Masashi didn't really seem to care. He was just sitting on the couch looking bored. I can't believe this guy! And the next day, we held a funeral for him. He was a well-renowned business owner, and hundreds of people flocked to his funeral. I can tell that everyone loved him. God, he was such a well-respected man, wasn't he? Why would his wife just abandon him, though? But that's when...
Honey!
Fumie!
Honey, no!
Fumie suddenly appeared out of nowhere, walked over to her husband's casket and started crying. I saw her holding an eye drop in her hand, though, so she was definitely fake crying right now. But wait, why the hell is she here? I thought no one could get a hold of her.
Well, I called her.
What? You still had her number?
Yeah, but I knew that you didn't like her, so I didn't tell you.
But you should have told me. I don't like her, sure, but still.
But what were you going to do if I told you, huh? You were probably just going to make her take care of Dad.
Well, I wasn't going to do that, but she was his wife. Don't you think that should be her responsibility?
Yeah, but you married into our family. It should be yours as well.
God, you're his real son! How could you say that? And after the funeral was over, Fumie refused to leave and stayed in the hall with the rest of her husband's family members. What do you want, ma'am?
Well, isn't it obvious? I want his inheritance. I'm not expecting much because his business was failing, but I'm sure I'll still walk out of here with something.
Well, maybe.
I bet you have nothing better to do, so you should just stay and watch us split his assets. You're not going to get anything, though.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. He actually asked me to do something for him before he passed away, so I really need to attend. I think the family is supposed to get back together in 2 days, so let's talk then.
All right. I guess he considered you his personal maid as well.
2 days later, Fumie showed up at her husband's place to discuss how the inheritance was going to be split.
Man, I haven't been here in ages, but this place still feels like home.
Okay, well, anyway, your husband told me that he wanted to create a will, so I got in touch with his lawyer and helped him make one.
Why the hell would you help him with that? I was probably going to get more if he hadn't written a will.
You're so annoying.
Neither of them seemed to be sad over my father-in-law's death, and they were rather excited to find out how much money they were going to get. But I have to stay calm and carry out my father-in-law's wishes. By the way, he was lying about his business failing.
What? Why would he lie about that?
To find out how you really felt about him. He thought that you would try taking care of him if he told you about his disease to win over as many of his assets as possible.
But that's not...
That's why we tested you to see if you would support him in his time of need. But you ran away.
But I...
And after that, he told you, Masashi. He was shocked when you decided to quit your job on the spot. He thought that you would stay by his side and support him. But you abandoned your post without a second thought. And besides, if you were actually doing your job as vice president, you would have known he was lying.
Well, I was making my subordinates do my job for me. What if you're doing well? I should work there again. I bet everyone's sad that I'm gone.
You don't have to worry about that. All of your coworkers are happy that you don't work there anymore.
What? Why? They were so nice to me, though.
That's because you were the CEO's son. And besides, his will states that you're banned from getting a job at one of your father's companies.
You're kidding me, right?
But you're still getting a part of his inheritance, though. He said he didn't want to give you a single cent of his money, but that wasn't possible. You are his only son, after all.
Well, that's bad news for you. You were so good to him, but you're not going to get anything from him because you guys aren't related by blood.
What are you talking about? You're not getting anything either.
What do you mean? I'm his wife. I'm entitled to...
No, you're not. You guys are divorced now. You left him after he told you his business was failing. And you ignored all of his calls and messages after that. That technically counts as being divorced.
What? But we were just having a little fight.
You should be held accountable for your actions. Anyway, you're nothing to him now, so you're not getting anything. By the way, I'm getting a part of the inheritance, as will Akito.
What? How does that make any sense?
Well, because he wrote it in his will. I want to leave $200,000 to Akito and his mother. Do you understand what that means?
No. What does it mean?
Ugh, you guys really are stupid, aren't you? If I'm getting $200,000, then that means you're going to get way more than that since you're his real son.
But what? But I was married to him for 40 years. I should at least get something. This isn't fair at all.
Well, that's just how this works. Sucks to be you.
So, I'm getting some money, huh? That's great news!
Yeah, but you're not going to get as much as you should have.
Wait, what?
I'm getting a divorce with you, and that means you're going to have to pay child support for Akito from now on. Oh, and don't forget to compensate me for cheating on me.
Huh?
You thought I didn't know, did you? Your father told me all about it. He said he saw you flirting with one of your co-workers. I hired a PI and they captured evidence of your affair. You're just so dumb. There was no way you were going to be able to hide this from me.
No way!
But anyways, just talk to his lawyer if you have a problem with what I just told you guys.
I'm not going to forgive you for this. This isn't fair. Why do you end up with more money than me?
Well, because your husband said no. That's just how it works. Oh yeah, and he also knew that you were cheating on him when you were still together. He knew about the affair the entire time, but he decided not to bring it up with you. Well, until you left him.
What?
He said he was going to forgive you for cheating on him because he never gave you enough attention. What a kind man.
Sure, but what's done is done. That doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, I think it does. Masashi, you have a right to seek compensation from her, you know.
Wait, what? Really? I will then.
But you don't have any evidence for that, do you?
I do. When I hired a PI to investigate Masashi's affair, I asked him to investigate you as well.
What?
But anyway, I'm gonna go home now, so see you guys. A few days later, I visited my father-in-law's grave. Thank you for everything, sir. Akito got into his first choice high school, and now I'm working at one of your companies. After I got a divorce with Masashi, I started working at one of my father-in-law's companies as a secretary. I liked my old job, but my new job pays better, so it's perfect for me. Masashi used up all the money he got from me on slot machines, and now he's in debt. He was able to find a new job thanks to his stellar resume, but he got fired after a month because he was incompetent. He called me the other day asking me for money, but I obviously declined. I haven't told him where I live, and he doesn't know that I'm working at one of your companies now, so I don't think he'll bother me. Oh yeah, and your ex-wife actually tried to marry one of her boyfriends, but she got turned down because she wasn't rich anymore. She does get pensions now, so she'll be able to survive. But hopefully her son doesn't take all of her money away. She moved out of your house, but I bet her new place is untidy. She's never had to do a single chore in her life, so it makes sense. But that's when I thought I heard my father-in-law say that she deserved it.